Hi guys, this is Tina. Hope you're all having a really lovely Easter. So I'm back again. I'm kind of on a roll and I'm cramming these videos in quickly kind of before our day starts. So obviously yesterday I came on and we did this tag here. I was a bit disappointed that I only managed to get through one, and something tells me kind of today will be the same, unfortunately. So what I thought we'd do is make a tag with a kind of back, oops, I've got fabric hanging all over me. Make a tag with a pocket on it. So I'm just, I'm really going to try not to overthink this. So just going to take some of the background page. Literally, I've just kind of grabbed one at random just so that we can crack straight on with kind of doing the video. Because who knows, we might then actually manage to do more than one tag, but if not, then at least we haven't kind of deliberated and wasted too much time. So that's that one. Now we could have kind of a pocket tag like this, or we could obviously use a different background page for the background. So I've brought along just some ivory card that I'm going to back this on. Excuse me. So I'm just going to glue that down. And thank you so much to all those kind people who've given me tips about my glue. So I have cleaned the nozzle. Well, I've done two things. I've both cleaned the nozzle, because lots of people had suggested that. So thank you very much. And then also Ginger had suggested watering the glue down, which, sounds so simple, doesn't it? Those two kind of tips, really. But for some reason they hadn't kind of occurred to me. So I have now done that, and the glue is now kind of pouring out at this stage. Whether or not it will kind of stay like that remains to be seen. But at the moment, it's, really kind of oozing out. So hopefully it will stay like that, at least for the duration of the video. So in fact, I'm having to keep it now, with something in the end of it, just to stop it pouring out everywhere. So we'll see how that goes. Right, so I'm just going to cut this out now, like this. So I hope everyone had a nice day yesterday. I'm sure lots of you have got nice plans today, maybe kind of a Sunday lunch with family or something like that. We're going to be having an Easter egg hunt in a moment. I'm just downstairs in our house, nothing, nothing very exciting. But, the kids kind of like to do that, don't they? So we just have it literally downstairs, in the house. Just small eggs hidden all over that the Easter Bunny put out. Our eldest son has gone to work again already, so he said he was happy not to participate in the hunt. But I did say that we would save him some eggs. So that's what we'll do. So I'm just going to have a look through and see whether we want to use, the same background as the pocket, or whether we want to kind of mix it up and use something else. Just have a look. The sun's still shining here, and it's forecast to be another gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous day. So, yeah, I think we're going to go to a different beach today, because we've been to the same beach every day for the last 3 days. So I think we're going to go to a different one today. The shops are normally shut on Easter Sunday, but sometimes they kind of seem to open. I kind of hope they're closed, because then it has a bit of a feel of like Christmas Day, doesn't it? And it's kind of special. But sometimes they are open. I think it just depends kind of how greedy the shops are being that particular year, really. So I'm just having a look whether we could take a kind of section of this here. So I just kind of trim this down across there, just here. Just thought this one might look quite pretty. So I'm going to kind of try and trim it. Actually, what I might prefer to do is kind of have it over there. So we'll trim it down like this. Yes, had to go and do food shopping last night, which was a little bit annoying because who wants to go and do food shopping on a Saturday evening? But obviously, because we'd been out enjoying ourselves at the beach kind of for the last few days, we hadn't done any food shopping or, you know, anything very much other than going to the beach. So needless to say, our cupboards were bare. You know, not that I really minded because, you know, I don't really mind kind of eating just what's left, but obviously the children do. So, and my husband actually, they're all, you know, complain, oh, there's nothing to eat, there's nothing to eat. So I had to quickly go and do some food shopping on our way back from the beach. Well, it was a bit later than that actually, but about 7 o'clock. So it was a bit tedious really. So, and I'm going to, I think, pop the glue down kind of to the tag. Like that. Oh, I was trying to do that left-handed, so I'll save that. Right. Pop this down like that. Now I'm just going to trim around this because once I've trimmed it, I might find that actually it's not straight at all. Then I'll have to adjust it. Whereas if I leave it until it's dried in place and then cut it, I might be horrified to find it's completely kind of wonky on there. It doesn't look too bad, so just trim that down that side. So that looks kind of okay, doesn't it? And then obviously we can kind of decorate that with some of our little pieces from our fussy cuts. So I'll just bring them back. Yeah, the only blessing about doing the food shopping actually last night was the shop was obviously incredibly empty. You know, because not surprisingly, nobody else really wanted to be doing their shopping at, you know, 7 o'clock on a Saturday evening. So if any good came out of it, it was in fact that the shop was nice and empty. So that was good. Just did a kind of quick shop really. You know, didn't kind of buy too much stuff, but just enough to get us through, and actually to get us through kind of the week as well, because I've mentioned before, but I've got a really busy week at work this week. So let's remove all this other stuff from where I've been crafting earlier on in the week. Yeah, I've got a really busy week at work this week, so we're just going to be having simple meals. I've already warned everyone about that and said, you know, don't be expecting anything great because we're just going to be having simple things this week. Just going to kind of tear around this little word here. Yeah, maybe just like jacket potatoes, things like that. So, actually, funny enough, yeah, it was a few months ago actually now, but my friend at work, she mentioned egg and chips. And I hadn't had that for years. I still haven't now. But, you know, I can remember kind of quite liking that. And we said, you know, what a quick and easy and simple meal that is. And I said, you know, I haven't had that for years, but I can remember liking it. So I did that for my husband and the kids that weekend that my friend and I at work had talked about it. Oh, they loved it. So I think, you know, we might do some egg and chips and some jacket potato and things like that this week. For that's a couple of nights sorted at least. And obviously just pasta. That's always nice and quick and easy, isn't it? But yeah, it was quite surprising how something as simple as egg and chips just goes down so well, and everyone really liked it so much. So yeah, I found that quite kind of amusing really. But I can remember as a child quite liking egg and chips myself, so I have that like that. Yeah, it's one of those just quick and easy, but you know, quite filling, quite nice little kind of meal to eat, isn't it? So I might just pop that on there. Oops. Yeah, just sometimes you need something just quick and easy, don't you? And I mean, I've talked before about soups. I mean, obviously we won't probably be having soup this week because you know, if the weather holds, which hopefully it will. I mean, soups are kind of our winter things, that we have an awful lot of soups, normally homemade ones, you know. But obviously, you know, when the weather's kind of getting better, then, you know, we don't really kind of have soups, particularly in the summer, but they would be a bit of a go-to in the winter months. You know, because they're kind of quick and easy, everyone likes them, you know, and if you have them obviously with some bread and things, then they're nice and filling, aren't they? So, and they're a good way of getting your, you know, your 5 a day and things like that. So, right, I might hot glue this on. Oh, gosh. So, you know, so that like when we made the tags in the last video, we can kind of leave it a little bit raised, so as we've got that little bit of kind of, you know, texture. So as we've got kind of like a layered effect. Oh God, I've got ink and glue all over me now already. And that's from just clearing the space, really, for doing the video, because I haven't even been using ink, obviously, on this one. Now I'm just wondering whether I can actually manage to kind of pop this onto this piece of lace. I might not quite have enough there, which is a little bit annoying. So let me see whether I've got any more of that particular lace laying around. Yep, I've got some obviously from yesterday. Now I might use this lace for the little tab as well. So I'm just going to pop this on here. Now, I don't know whether, you know, if you did watch along yesterday, I kind of had inked them up, and then at first I thought, I preferred them not inked. Well, obviously by the time we finished the tag, I then was pleased I'd inked them, because actually I did really like the look of the tag. But this one, I think, to kind of just show the differences, really, I'm not going to ink this one. I'm going to leave it. You know, to kind of show you again the contrast between the kind of two. So, but before I do that, what I sometimes quite like to do is just go around the edge. So, although I don't ink the tag, I sometimes like to go around a piece. Oops. Sorry, bits of everything everywhere. Is just go around a piece like this. And that just then gives it a little bit of a kind of, like an outline, I suppose. Just kind of makes it stand out a little bit. So I just thought that's what we'd do on this one. You know, rather than inking it, you know, per se, or, you know, distress inking it, we'll just go round with a bit of black. So I've done that, and hopefully, let me just stand up. Hopefully you can kind of see where I've done that. you know, it's not massive difference, but just enough to kind of get a little bit of an impact going on there. And actually, I'm just going to round the corners here, just at the top, just at the top. Actually, I might do the corners here as well, and I should have really done that before I obviously stuck this piece on down here with the lace, but never mind. So I will just go obviously back round those rounded bits like that, and then I'm just going to pop this one on here in just that space. I'll just pop this one on with the wet glue. Just like that. That looks so pretty, doesn't it? And then if I just kind of press that down a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have the tab in the corner, and I think I'm going to have it in this corner. Quite like putting them in the corner. Now the only thing is, now I don't know whether to have white hole reinforcer or coloured, because obviously where I haven't inked the tag, but the white does look very stark. So on here I've got, you know, various shades. So I'm going to take this one, which to me looks quite a pale one, you know, and I just like to kind of add a bit of glue because I don't ever quite trust stickers and things, so I like to make sure it's kind of stuck on properly. Don't want it dropping off, you know, a couple of weeks down the line, or sometimes even worse than that if you use that you know, Pritt Stick type of glue. It could be a couple of hours down the line and it will be kind of hanging off and falling off. So that's that. Now I always love, obviously, as you know, adding a bit of bling, so you might kind of put some bling somewhere. Just deciding, oh, I should have stuck this with the hot glue really, because it's not particularly sticking very quickly. Might have to kind of reinforce that in a second with some hot glue, but I think I'm going to have the bit of bling there. So I'm just going to pop a bit of hot glue down on here, just to kind of, you know, make sure it's stuck before I go sticking the bling on there. Oh, I've got threads of hot glue running across my entire tag. Oh. Messy, messy, messy. Right. And I'll just do it this end as well. There we go. And that way I don't have to worry about that kind of coming up. And then I'm just going to take a bit of bling, put it over there. So I will do that just with the wet glue, like that. There we go. So that's that. And then I'm just going to wait for that to just kind of hold in place slightly. I don't know whether this is going to be long enough, to be fair. It may well not be. If I just trim that down here. Oops. Like that. It, you know, as I say, this may well not be. Although, actually, I did see, I think it was Artie Mays the other day, she did something absolutely gorgeous. So I might have to have a go at that. Now, might make a complete hash of it because it does involve eyelash trim, which, you know, as you may know, I do struggle slightly with the kind of, you know, what I would call the fiddliness of, oh gosh, eyelash trim. Now, for some reason, I'm going through a stage of having really terrible nails. Obviously, I try and paint them because doing the videos, it looks a little bit more attractive. But I think sometimes when you paint them, actually, it kind of weakens the nails. So we could have it like that. I totally forgot what I was going to do with the Artie Maze thing, but anyway, might come back to that, might not. Yeah, I think sometimes it weakens your nails. So actually, mine have been especially bad of late, and you know, really just breaking all the time. I also had an accident with my sewing machine, which I can't remember whether I've talked about that before. I know I did mention it in a video, but it might be a video that I haven't actually uploaded yet. So I won't go into details, but just, let's say, thumbs and the needles of sewing machines do not really mix. So keep thumbs out of the way when sewing. So, you know, in case you hadn't kind of realised that, which for some reason I obviously well, just, let's just say, kind of wasn't paying enough attention. So, yes, didn't have an overly nice experience. Oops. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. Oh, thank you so much, ladies, for that tip, because the glue is now a pleasure to work with, where obviously it had become a frustrating nightmare. So thank you so much. So if anyone didn't hear me say that, or hasn't read the comments kind of to get that tip, tips received were clean the nozzle out, which I did, and I mean I just rinsed, you know, rinsed it through, clean the nozzle and thin the glue. So I did both of those things, and it has worked wonders so far. Oh gosh, I don't know why this is not working at all. Let's just hold it down like that for a moment. And then I'm going to pop a bit of bling across there. Like that. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue down here because I don't think it's really stuck at this end at all. So there, like that. Okay, now I'm just going to wait for that to dry for a couple more seconds. Now, what I was trying to do was, I think it was Artie Maze I saw, she just put two kind of pieces of lace through, and then she kind of bound them with her eyelash trim. So obviously I have already tied mine, because although I was talking about it, I was obviously busy talking and then forgot that I was going to do that. Even though I was actually talking about that, it's still then completely forgot. So although I have now actually attached my lace, I'm just going to see if I can kind of get the same effect, just knotting it. I hope I'm actually in frame, because otherwise that's really dull for you guys, having to just watch that like that. So just kind of adds a little bit more, you know, something to the tab there. So this obviously is not particularly brilliantly stuck yet, but you could then just pop a little card in the pocket there. So if I pop a piece of white paper down so that that's more visible. So that's the, oh, and I've got this one, look, I can just pop in there as well. That's the two tags that we've made so far. So again, I mean, that's probably all I've got time for today, but don't they look pretty? And completely different tags, you know, using effectively the same pieces. You know, the only piece that was different was obviously on this one that we made yesterday, we had the blue background page. But, you know, this one, obviously, we've used all the background pages and everything else from the Pink Boutique. But, you know, they look completely different tags, don't they? And, you know, effectively, they were taken from using the same, you know, the same basic, kind of pieces. So I just, you know, wanted to kind of illustrate really, or kind of give a quick, you know, ideas thing of how different they can look, I guess, kind of using the exact same kit or the exact same kind of pieces. So hope you like them. I don't know quite which one I prefer. I think they're both really pretty. Yeah, I'm not quite sure which one I prefer. And obviously, you know, you could then ink this one if you wanted. I just thought it was quite nice to have it kind of in the crisp, clean way that it actually printed. So, yeah, hope that you like them. Hope that today's video was of some use. And I hope you all have a really fabulous day today. Eat lots of Easter eggs. And, you know, if you're having a family meal or some family time or anything, I hope you all have a really nice time. So thanks very much. And I will see you all again soon. Thanks, Em. Bye.